All right, good morning, everybody. Out here in the garage sharpening up this 361 Stihl, and I'm going to do a little cutting. I'm just going to attack some of those cedar logs over there, and I'm going to buck up some of them cedar into kindling and maybe cut a couple cord of cedar for firewood. A lot of guys say, or a lot of guys will refuse to burn any kind of conifer, whether it be tamarack, cedar, spruce. Doesn't matter to me, I burn it all. And these logs are sitting over there, and there must be at least 100 logs, but that's not all I'm going to do. I'm going to try and figure out a way to split some of them cedar when I buck them into 8 or 10 foot lengths. I want to find some way to split those hydraulically with that big Kubota to make split rails. I got to work on that and how I can split those logs fast and efficiently using that big Kubota and make some of those into split rail fencing. That's what I'm up to. But anyway, I'm just sharpening up this saw, and then I got the grapple on the 30 right there. I just put it on, and I brought the chainsaw around. I got the splitter, sorry, the splitter, not the chainsaw. I brought the splitter around with a four-wheeler. I got it ready. That's where I'm going to do some cutting and splitting right over here. Everything's close to the shop, and I don't have to lug a whole bunch of equipment way over there. And I'll make a nice pile of chips right there. So that's what I'm up to today. And one thing I've noticed this year too, I've noticed my small business has substantially slowed down. Actually, I got more bin rentals this year than I've ever had, and that's fine. But I just noticed that people are really tight with their money this year, and I know why too. I've been through this before, and we all know why, because there's a lot of debt. The cheap money's not quite as cheap as it was, even though it's still pretty cheap. So when interest rates spike and the stock market goes for a dip, and all in all it looks kind of dismal in the economy and things slow down, well, people tighten up their purse strings. Last year they were sprinkling money around. This year they're tight. And mind you, I have a lot of commitments, well, several commitments on jobs people are holding off of that they're going to do later on this summer, and hopefully they'll come to fruition. And I can't believe, well, I can believe it, but the number of jobs I've went out at and quoted on, and I don't know if people are definitely paying more attention now to job quoting than they did last year. Last year, like I said, they were just throwing cash around. Mind you, I didn't put high job quotes out anyway. I just put my normal contractor style job quotes out. I don't need to go out there and try and make a living off one job. So my quotes are pretty fair. But I just noticed this year, I've done, just lately, I've done several job quotes, and I haven't heard nothing back. Now, several I did get, and I'm waiting on them, but people are definitely a lot more cautious now than they were. And I can't blame them. Because I'm cautious too when I look at inflation and the way the money is this year. So in the meantime, it's kind of good in a way because it calms me down and it makes me work here and get projects done at home, such as that project out there, which was nice. I widened that driveway out, made it substantially wider, and I got all the seeding done over there. That's all been seed to soil compact. I tractor down with a tractor. I seeded all that. And I'm just waiting for the rain. We're supposed to get 2 days of rain starting possibly tonight, tomorrow, at least a day and a half of rain. But I'll tell you, she doesn't look like she's going to rain, but it's supposed to rain. So it allows me, when I'm not working out, to get stuff done around here. And that's why I've got so much work done here this year. And the sea containers and everything else move. So in a way, it's a good thing. It kind of forces me to stay here and do some work, which I sometimes don't bother doing. Okay, so we're going to sharpen the saw and we'll take that 30 over there and we're going to grab some timber. We're going to cut and we're going to do some splitting. Alright, so here's the scoop on these cedar logs. When I bought this place in 2020, the previous owner must have cut a bunch of cedar out of the bush, and possibly when he cleared this spot, I'm just thinking, possibly when he cleared this land to build this house in 2004, that possibly these cedar logs were left over, some of them, from clearing this land to build this house, to clear this lot. And but I do see some cedar stumps way back in the bush too, where the cedar was cut off. So maybe it's a combination of both. But anyway, whatever it was or wherever they come from this property. But for whatever reason, he didn't cut them. And they've been here for a long time. And when I came here, these cedar logs were all stacked up in the middle of that field way over there that I had cleaned up and grass seeded. It was just a complete mess of junk and cedar logs. So that's where these cedar logs came from. I picked them all up with a grapple and I stacked them all over on the edge of the bush and made a lawn over there. So anyway, that's where these cedar logs come from. And I'm not doing anything with them at the moment. I'm just thinking of different things. But I do cut up a few each year for a little bit of firewood. Easy start in firewood and kindling. That's really what I use them for. So that's what this one's going to do. And it's hard. It's very hard to get a good cedar log that isn't hollow through the core. And you talk to anybody up here and all that, you got to hit them just at the right time, these cedar down in these lowlands, if you want good cedar that's not hollow through the center of that log. And if you look at a lot of these logs, I'll bet you 50% of these at least are hollow and rotted right up through the center. And that's just the way cedar is. I talked to the sawyer over here yonder on Highway 17 East. He told me the same thing. He said, you're lucky when you get a good size cedar log that's not already started to rot out through the core. So a lot of these are. So I just cut them up for various reasons. Firewood, kindling, chainsaw's already here, but forget the chainsaw. Have a look here. There's that hydraulic filter I told you guys about when I serviced my log splitter. I'll put a link into that video, but there it is, the PER 20 micron hydraulic filter. And there's the new one right there. I just put it on this morning right there. Brand new. And I figured out how old that filter is. I think I bought this splitter in 1998. So 98. So 18, 19, 20. So that filter is 24 years old. And that's no bull. That filter is 24 years old. I've never changed it. That's the second filter on this machine. In fact, I've never changed the transmission oil in this. It's all Dexron 2 in here. And it looks plenty bright and plenty red. And it's not like it gets super hot and overworked. Mind you, I put a lot of cord of wood through this. So anyway, brand new filter, and I'm not going to change the oil. I'll probably never change the oil. That's just the way it is. With the work, do some cutting on those logs. I haven't ran this 361 Stihl since last year. I just fueled it up. She was bone dry. Dry on oil, dry on fuel. Not bad. And this cedar is terribly bad. One thing this cedar is terribly bad for, and you do not want to stack this cedar in your basement after you split it in cordwood size. You don't want to stack this in your house in the wood room, because this stuff is so prone to carpenter ants. If you got cedar logs like this, you got black ants, carpenter ants. There's no two ways about it. And those dirty little bastards, they get in the log, and then you start cutting and splitting. And especially in the winter time, if you don't catch them and they're dormant and you start stacking wood in the house, you don't want them, those are the worst. You don't want them carpenter ants. So just a word of caution, they love cedar. And you can just smell the aroma of that white cedar. It's very, very, very aromatic. And if you look in here, let me find a better piece. Right here, if you look in there, there's where you get your black ants. I've already seen some crawling around these logs, but this is all damage inside this log. And that log is pretty wet in the center when you look at it, so that's why I got to get it split and get it aired out and get it hauling. So let's give her. If you're looking for one of those fast, fancy production splitters, that's not me. This isn't Outdoors with the Morgans and Homestead Acres and all these Ohio wood burner. Those guys all got nice stuff, but I just got the average slow sloth turtle style splitter. But you know what? It's worked my whole life. Check it out. Nice piece of cedar there. Very aromatic. You can see it's still got some water in it, but you know what? I burn this stuff in the wood stove, and it works good to get your first few burns going in your fire. But you know what? Keep an eye on your pipes when you're burning coniferous wood, spring. I mean spruce, pine, tamarack, cedar, all that stuff. You just got to keep an eye on the pipes and make sure the wood's dry. There's nothing wrong with burning it. Keep an eye on the chimney, and of course, you're not going to get a good coal bed in the fire. All you're going to get is fly ash. Just white fly ash burning to dust. But it's here and it's free. And if you get anything free nowadays, you're doing good. That stuff you never see until you open this up. The core of that with those black ants, you'll never see that. Be careful putting that stuff in your house or even near your house. Beauty. Fairly dry. A little bit wet here. Alright, check it out, you guys. I got most of that log cut. I did save a few pieces for chopping blocks. Like that big boy there, nice wide one. I saved that for a chopping block for behind the house. At the basement door where I got firewood in the winter, and sometimes I split firewood back there if a piece is too big, so I need a big block. But we got quite a bit of wood out of there. And good stuff too. But you can definitely see this guy here is like 3 times the weight. There's the difference between dry cedar. This is, like I said, it's like Frito-Lay's, man, right here. Featherlight. So left you got wet, right you got dry. And you can just see the difference between the two. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'll get a whole bunch of this cut and stacked this year. And I'm going to get a few cord done anyway. I got it. Alright, so thanks for tuning in, you guys. And just split a little bit of cedar there. Smells nice too. Very nice. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you later.